The San Juan Island National Historical Park is a national historical park that is owned and operated by the National Park Service. The San Juan Island is in the Puget Sound and is the island that sits farthest west. It is separated by the Haro Strait from Vancouver Island, which is part of British Columbia in Canada. These two channels define the territorial claims of the United States and Great Britain after the Oregon Treaty of 1846. When the Oregon Treaty was signed, the United States and Great Britain thought their differences over broad territory known as the Oregon Country had ended. However, the treaty was unclear about which side of the San Juan Islands the boundary fell. The treaty had referenced a strait, but there are two straits. To keep peace, the two nations postponed a decision and lived 12 peaceful years on the island together. The English camp was located on the northwest side of the island in Garrison Bay. The Royal Marines landed here March 21, 1860. By the time they left, the Marines had 27 structures, 2 wharfs, 2 wells, a pasture, a formal garden, several roads, and a lot of fencing. The British Royal Marines occupied this camp from 1860 to 1872. The American camp is located on the southern tip of San Juan Island. The Americans had a parade ground, laundress quarters, and officers' quarters. The campsite has 2 surviving buildings from the American military occupation. In 1859, an American killed a stray British-owned pig, which sparked the dispute known as the Pig War. This war had many different names, including the Pig Episode, the Pig and Potato War, the San Juan Boundary Dispute, and the Northwestern Boundary Dispute. There were no shots exchanged and no human casualties. Due to those facts, this was a bloodless conflict. In 1871, the two countries negotiated the Treaty of Washington. Kaiser Wilhelm, a German arbitrator, made the decision and declared the boundary to be the Haro Strait, which awarded the islands to the United States. In 1872, the Treaty of Washington was finalized. The British abandoned their camp in November of 1872, and the American camp was dissolved in July of 1874. Both campsites were designated a National Historic Landmark in 1961 and listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1966. A sign in Garrison Bay reads as follows. In 1859, the killing of a pig on the San Juan Island brought England and the United States to the brink of war over the issue of territorial rights here. By agreement, both nations' troops were permitted to occupy this area while the problem was studied. British soldiers established a camp at Garrison Bay just west of here, while the American troops camped at the southern end of the island. Peaceful arbitration of the dispute in 1872 placed the San Juan Islands within territorial United States. In October of that year, the British garrison was abandoned.